Hello, everybody. This is Alberto Kennedy, aka Grimoire. This video is going to be talking about the Nephilim. Who are the Nephilim, right? We hear it in the Bible. The Nephilim, they're the hybridic race that was created between the mating of angels and human women. It always fascinated me that this topic, and so I'm glad to bring some information to you in the genre of the mythological, in the genre of possibility, the possibility of their existence, because there's no definitive proof. Let's be real. There's no definitive proof that the Nephilim did in fact exist. It's in the Bible, but the Bible would be at best an allegorical account, because the Bible is not rooted in fact. The Bible is a book of faith, a book of religion, but not fact. There is no archeological or anthropological proof or evidence that this race in fact existed. We have to put that out there because that's the truth, you know. And I'm all about truth. To be fair, there's many people, the scientific community, and all that don't believe in the existence of shamans, of witches, of psychic sorcerers, spiritual healers, mediums, empaths, necromancers. This science disavows their existence. And to be clear, science does not say that they don't exist. Many people can say that they are the things that I just said, but their power, their abilities, their skills are in question. So they don't really believe that I am a psychic medium or brujo. And that's okay. I know who the fuck I is. Okay, let's continue. The Nephilim. I want to point this out because a lot of people don't. All the info out there, all the videos out there talking about the Nephilim, they just talk about the Nephilim in terms of the Bible. I wanted to go a bit further back. In my research, and as far the Nephilim are mentioned as far back as Sumeria. Okay, and that predates. That's the first civilization, or one of the first civilizations, because now proof is coming out, evidence is coming out, is that there are older civilizations, like in the Inca, the Gobi Tepe. Forgive me if I mispronounce that. Their civilization is a bit older. So there are old civilizations. Right now, the oldest is said to be Sumeria. And what I found interesting in my research is that the Nephilim are mentioned, and we go back before the Nephilim. They were sired by angels and humans, interbreeding. So too in Sumeria. First, there is the Anunnaki, those that came from the sky. Then the children of the Anunnaki, because they mated with humans after they supposedly created humans, and the Nephilim were called the Apkallu. That's the Akkadian term for Nephilim. And the Sumerian term for Nephilim is the Abgal. These beings were created by the Watchers, or the Anunnaki. And what we're doing here is refusing the Judeo-Christian Bible, the Hebrew, with the Sumerian. Because the Sumeria wrote about the Watchers and the Nephilim, siring the Nephilim. They wrote about it in 1600 BCE, excuse me. The Bible came out 1400 BCE. So the Genesis book within the Bible, 1400 BCE. The Sumerian clay tablet predates the Bible by 200 years. That would be the Eridu Genesis of the Sumerians. So way back when they were talking about the Nephilim and they were talking about the Watchers. So I found that interesting, that Apkalu. Yeah, this subject of the Nephilim is important. I want to give some facts before I go into his. I can't say historical fact, but because it's not part of history, because history means that it did actually happen. We don't know that. But the term Nephilim is rife with etymological errors in the terms. And what I mean by that is that the Nephilim are always called, they were giants, they were this. No, they were not. No, they were not. The giants were called the Anakim. The Anakim actually has a direct translation as to giant, long-necked. The Nephilim, the root word of Nephilim is nafal, which directly translates to fall. The Nephilim race got kind of a bad reputation because of their supposed heritage between angels and humans. The angels, the Watchers, weren't supposed to mate with humans per the Bible. They were just supposed to watch God's creation. But they found it so beautiful they couldn't help themselves, and they took human women as wives and whatnot. That's per the Bible. Now, the Watchers get a bad rap because they fell from heaven, and then so they took, they took wives and whatnot. Obviously, the Nephilim, to propagate their species, they obviously that they had wives too, and they had children. But we'll go into that in a second. The Nephilim were not, in fact, giants. They looked like you and me. The difference is they had more skills. They had different skill set than a regular human at that time. Remember, this is Bible era, a long time ago, right? And so these children of angels and man, they could do certain things. Obviously, their grace was a bit watered down because they weren't going to be completely divine beings. No. But they did have skills. For example, the Watchers, when they first came to humanity, they brought things that humanity didn't even know about, which was like artistry, civilization, rules of conduct on how to live in a better life, farming, agriculture. Basically, they were like Prometheus, bringing fire to man. And they kind of got a bad reputation for that because there were certain powers that be at that time that did not want man to evolve. The Watchers saw different. And so they brought metallurgy, working with iron. They brought cosmetics. They brought sorcery, magic, divining the future, reading the stars, astrology. They brought all this stuff to us, and we weren't supposed to have it for some reason. Also, interesting to note, in that era, a long, long, long time ago, in the Bible era, the average person in that region the typical height would be around 5 feet to 5.5 feet, 5.5 feet. So I myself am 6'2". I would seem like a freaking giant to these beings, to ancient people of that era, of that time during the Bible. So anybody above 5 feet would have been gargantuan. Anybody could have been considered a giant at that time. The Nephilim weren't giants. Um, Also, I wanted to point this out too, and I have my notes. Um, the Nephilim, this is a quote from Genesis, passage 6:4. The Nephilim were on the earth in those days, and also afterward, when the sons of God went to the daughters of humans and had children by them. They were the heroes of old, men of renown. Okay. The interesting quote here is sons of God. That's why a lot of people got it twisted and got confused as well, because the sons of God, well, they were talking about angels. But there's an actual angelic order called the Elohim. The Elohim, the direct translation of that term is the sons of God. Let me correct myself right now, right here, getting myself in check. That is inappropriate. That's not right. The sons of God directly translates to Beni Elohim. There we go. There we go. There we go. So it's easy. That's how, it's so easy to get etymologically confused with the terms and whatnot. And I believe that's what happened way back when the Bible was being rewritten, re-revised, retranslated over and over again ad nauseum. I want to also say that the Nephilim at that time, because they were so skilled and they had a little extra, they weren't very well liked. Because not only because they were different, but because of their divine heritage, there was a lot of jealousy. Also, it stands to reason. Power corrupts, absolute power corrupts absolutely, so it stands to reason that some of the Nephilim did get a little haughty, did get a little high on themselves, and thought that they were superior because of that little extra grace that they had. That happens. We see it now in modern day. If the people in power tend to think they're better than those that are not. So I think all that has something to do with why the Nephilim were demonized. The Nephilim themselves had children, and their children had children, and the line continued. For example, first there was let me put it this way. The Watchers begat the Nephilim. The Nephilim begat the Anakim. The Anakim begat the Eliud. The Eliud begat the Giborim. The Giborim begat the Zamzumim. Zamzumim. And so forth. Now, interesting to note, the Zamzumim were the children of the, well, they call them children of the Nephilim all the way down. But they were also very skilled at sorcery, divining the future, necromancy, working with nature, herbalism, healing. So during that time down, those that are skilled with the subtle energies, shamanism, witches, sorcerers, seers, psychic healers, psychic mediums, necromancers, those people are the descendants of the Nephilim. Now, this is all speculative. I don't want anybody coming after me going like, you don't do, you. No, no, this is all speculative. Most people tend to think that the Nephilim were an antediluvian race that was killed during the floods and whatnot. Now, there is no scientific evidence indicating that there was, in fact, a global flood. There is a possibility that this flood was regional, but not global. So is there any scientific proof about the Nephilim? No, there isn't. But there isn't any scientific proof saying definitively that they did not exist. No, there isn't either. There is a possibility. And the possibility lies in the fact that we still, to this day, we have healers, psychics, psychic mediums, people that are helping other people, just like the Watchers did. What was paramount for the Watchers was the evolution of humanity. We have a right to evolve spiritually, or else we wouldn't be here. You have a right to evolve spiritually. And to close, I want to say, after so many years has passed, so many generations, the question is not who are the descendants of the Nephilim. We all are. The world over, we all are. To varying degrees, we all are. So no one's more special than the other. No, no. We all drew in our genetic line, per our paternal genetic line and our maternal genetic line. Somewhere down in those lines, there's angelic blood. Not only is our souls divine, but so too our genetics. That junk DNA, that science says it's junk DNA because it doesn't serve any purpose, that's just ignorant. Of course it does serve purpose. Just because we don't know what purpose it serves doesn't mean it doesn't serve a purpose. That's arrogant. Of course it serves a purpose. The scientist just doesn't know what purpose it serves. They can't break it down. They don't understand it. We are all descendants of the Nephilim, and farther back, angelic race. Now, before I leave you guys with this information, this is just my perspective. I could be wrong. I don't know. I don't have all the answers, but I believe this. So I pose it to you guys. You guys may go like, oh, stop smoking that stuff. Okay. Or some of you may be going like, hey, you know what? That kind of makes sense. I leave it at your discretion. I leave it to you to do your own research and feel it out, sense it. Work with your spirit guides, crack open a book, Google these topics, dive deep into your own psyche and into the information that's out there, and you come to your own conclusions. But this is something that I present to you about the Nephilim. They never left. We're all still here. You and I. Okay. More videos coming soon. Just wanted to share this with you. This one was a quick one. You guys take care. I'm just trying to bring light to dark places and help our evolution and help us take responsibility for our spiritual evolution, because it's time that we do. All right. You guys take care. Bye.